People always want the easiest road from A to B, and yet with most entrepreneurs, people get into you don't sell a thing, you sell emotion. And he thought, how can I grow my user base in an unconventional way without spending a lot of cash upfront for leads, right? So what did he do? He created a website, and the only thing you could do...
Before we begin the podcast, I have a super simple ask for you. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would help us reach more business owners every single day. Thank you. Let's begin. Virgil, I've seen thousands of course creators from LinkedIn to Instagram. That being said, unlike many, you've had some decent accomplishments. $10 million business, ClickFunnels 2, Coma Club X Award, and helping others get to 500K in sales themselves. Now, aside from those accomplishments, why should someone talk to you about courses?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, first of all, the thing is, everybody looks at courses in different ways, right? For some people, courses are a means to escape their grind, right? They believe like, oh, if I package what I know, I bring it out there, and then it will magically happen. Well, obviously we know that's not the case. But why should people come to me, and why do people at this moment come to me? Because I have an approach that is really simple. It is data-driven. And everybody who has a converting offer and have helped somebody and has some decent case studies can get started with the method that I teach. So that's the reason why people should come to me. And it's a great question, right? Why should people go to a certain coach? Because knowledge is everywhere. And there are a lot of knowledgeable people about selling courses out there. So the first thing that you want to achieve first is to really see, one, has this person done it before? And then two, has this person helped other people doing the same thing that he says he did? And thirdly, do you have a good connection? And I believe that the third point is the most important part, because you're going to have this emotional connection with a coach or mentor, how you like to call him, because you are going to work with this person for a while, and it's not always going to be roses and unicorns. So you need to have this solid connection to make it work. So those three things are really important. I hope this answers your question.
Yeah, I wanted to circle back to your method is simple. Break that down for me. So what makes it simple? What do you do and why?
Yeah, so first of all, a lot of people make things complex, right? And simplicity is the only way how you're going to make it big. So first of all, I always start with one problem, one solution, for one type of person or ICP, so to speak. And then I'm not going to think about, okay, I'm going to build out this course because I believe this is great, because that's where a lot of concepts and ideas die. Because people are inside have an ego, and they believe that everything they do will pop. And when it doesn't, it hurts them, that gets frustrated and they give up. And that you see with a lot of businesses. So when I know my problem and my solution and for who, then the only thing I'm going to do is going to listen to the signal. And what I mean by that, I'm literally going to go to the market, I'm going to ask what they want, and then I'm going to give it to them in a nutshell. That's simplicity, right? So that is one of the core concepts. That doesn't end there, because a lot of people then, if they manage to get to this point, and that percentage is very low, but if they manage to understand what their audience want and want to give it to them, then they're going to make the course creation process really, really complex. And it shouldn't be. Because you don't need a fancy camera, you can use your iPhone. You don't need to understand what modules or lessons you need to create. You don't need to think days or months about it. You literally can ask your audience, hey, what are your biggest problems? Then they're going to state you the modules. And then, how do you want to learn this? What's the easiest way? They're going to tell you what the lessons will be in a nutshell. And you being an expert, you already sort of have an idea how to help people, because you probably have helping people one-on-one or a different format that you repackage in a course. So if you combine the two, one, the signal, and two, your knowledge and skill set and your personality, the course creation process is very straightforward.
It's kind of the same idea as sell first, right? Like, I know a lot of people that I've gotten some flack for this, but it's the idea of, listen, sell something first and then do it. Like, know that you can do it, but sell it first, because then you figure out what people actually want. because a lot of times there's a disconnect between what you think people want and what people actually want. So I'll give you a good example in my business. I always thought that somebody wanted like a full funnel in terms of real estate, but in reality, they just want a key component of said funnel. And so I cut the rest of it where it's not that key component. And it's the same thing for courses. Like, at least I'm assuming so. Like, I'm not in the course scene, so.
No, you're completely right. The thing is, the concept of marketing, or direct response marketing, as I call it, is the same for every industry. So you are in real estate. So let's take that example, right? Let's say you are a real estate agent and you want to sell a certain type of to a certain type of clientele. Now, the very first thing people are going to do, they're going to rush out and they're going to gather images, they're going to make a website, they're going to upload it, and then they have all kinds of listings. So they make it really, really complex. Now, what I always do, especially with everything I launch, is a concept called funnel hacking. And what does it mean? It's a concept that's taught to me by Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels founder. And what it is, go back to the example of the real estate agency. You are going to look at other agencies in your niche. Let's say the competition, quote unquote. In my world, competition doesn't exist. It only exists in your head. But for the sake of ease, let's label it as such. Then you're going to look at this agency. What are their listings? How do they list it? How do they sell it? You're literally going to make an appointment. You're going to go through the whole system. What is going on? What are they doing? Probably what you're going to find out. People by nature make things complex. So what do you do to stand out? You're going to go take all the data, the signal I just referred to, and then you're going to strip out everything that is a block, purely from your perspective. So what if I would like to buy a house and purchase a piece of property? What do I need? So then reverse from there. You'll notice that people always want the easiest road from A to B, and yet with most entrepreneurs, people get into obstacles. And that is an easy way to really scale a real estate agency and make it simple. And I love simplicity. I keep on saying simplicity, and I talk a lot about chilling. Obviously, that's the byproduct. When you make things simple, you can chill more. So, but simplicity is the key.
Real estate agents, are you struggling to capture leads? If you're struggling to capture leads through your website, we can help. We've created a step-by-step guide on how to use our lead capture engine. It's the system we've used on all of our real estate websites to capture sellers, including Cade Covey, who earned an extra $80,000 in just 3 months by working with us. Are you ready to set up your lead capture engine? Visit dmrmedia.org/#gift to learn more about how we can get warm leads like a pro. I love simplicity. Like I'm a huge Charlie Munger fan, and that's his entire shtick is like keep it simple, man. And yeah, like in real estate, that's basically my entire job is making things simple, because a lot of real estate brokerages will be like, hey, we have like a squeeze page here for this, a squeeze page here for that. We have a funnel over here for this. And it's like, guys, people are getting lost. It's like a maze to even find you guys in here. I know. So you're big in ClickFunnels. I'm kind of curious on that as well. So what's the best funnel and how did it work? What's your best funnel that you had?
So that's the concept of simplicity I apply to everything. I look through the lens. My funnel was very, very simple. In my specific case, we were selling an e-commerce course, and the funnel was super simple. We had ads on the front end. They went to an email list. The email list was warming them up for a webinar. The webinar was done live. That was different than all the other people who do it recorded. We did the webinar live. And then afterwards, at the end of the webinar, there was an offer made. If people bought it, fine. If people didn't, they were pushed into an automated sequence through email. And that was a week cycle. That was the funnel. And that whole cycled each week. It started over again. And we just ran the same webinar over and over again. We didn't do training A one day a week, training B 1 week. Now let's take the example again for a real estate agency or brokerage, right? So what is so powerful in simplicity to getting leads in? Because if I understand right, most brokerage and agencies, they want people in to potentially sell a house to, right? That is the whole idea. So the very
Yep.
first thing is you need to capture those leads. Well, the easiest way of doing it, there are two ways. You can do it paid, you can do it organic, right? You can go on LinkedIn, you have conversations, which is a great model. I love it. It works. Everybody should, because when you get leads organic, you're going to get the profit margins are way higher. But
Hmm.
I discussed the paid method. So let's say you have a 10 steps how to purchase a house without paying too much for a agency or an agency fee. Let's say that is the problem, right? So you have this little maybe video series or a PDF, whatever it is on the front end, and you run ads to that, to a specific target, the target that you want. Now, those people are going to download that specific piece of content. Well, in the sequence after that they have downloaded that PDF or video series, you're going to say, hey, next week I host a 90 minutes free training about all the pitfalls, and at the end you can ask all your questions. Well, that's the second step of the funnel. So a percentage of those people would go watch that training because they're willing to buy a house, right? So on that training, you're going to explain their pain points. You're going to share a story about the person who wants to buy a house with all the problems that came along with it that they can identify with. And at the end, you would say, hey, if you really need help, we can do X, Y, Z to provide that. Here's a link to a call. And I believe, especially for agents and that sell high ticket items in there, like houses and anything that's high ticket. Yes, there are people who converting them straight on a DM or hey, here's a payment link, pay me 50K for XYZ. But a call gives another dimension, because the call gives you the opportunity where you always can win. One, you have the potential to make the sale. Well, obviously, with high ticket prices, you're not going to convert every person that you have on the call. So a lot of people believe that when you are on the call, that's then a waste of time if you don't make the sale. But there's another important thing that happens, because you are going to understand way better what these person's problems are based from their perspective. So they're going to give you more signals to improve the front end of your actual funnel, right? But there's another part. There's a third part that is really, really important, because people don't understand that people don't purchase in a linear way. What I mean by that, the moment you present an idea of, in this case, buying a house, doesn't mean that this person is ready. That doesn't mean that this person doesn't want to buy with you, or doesn't know, like, or trust you yet. Maybe those issues are already solved. But in his timeline, he's not there yet for all kinds of circumstances. So you have then the opportunity to showcase what is the potential for the future, bring this person back to your email list, nurture this person over time with relevant content, and then this person will buy eventually down the line in 2 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. Doesn't matter. When this funnel is keep on rotating, you're keeping pushing people in the front end to your lead magnet, to your training in this case, and then into the nurture aspect. So over time, you grow as like a positive flywheel. You grow more people into your funnel, and eventually you're going to make more sales. So that is the beautiful thing of simplicity in funnels.
Yeah, I love that. I also want to highlight the fact that it definitely, people don't convert a lot, or at least right away, especially when it comes to high ticket. So I was talking to a real estate agent in New York, and his average ticket price is like, I think $3 million buildings. His average time from finding the lead to closing the deal is roughly a year and a half. So every time someone is like, listen, it's taking forever, I'm like, at least it's not a year and a half. Right? So, right, you need to be simple, you need to find leads. But the other thing is you need to be patient with said leads. And that's probably one of the most important parts, because I've gotten pushy and I've lost leads because I've been pushy.
Especially with high ticket when you are pushy, because you also need to understand what you are selling. And especially a lot of real estate agents don't realize that, but any entrepreneur for that matter, because are you literally selling a house? Am I selling a course? That is like a very, very, very abstract matter, right? Yeah. So what most real estate agency and brokerages, and also all other entrepreneurs for that matter, is that you not sell a course in my case, or you sell a house. What you actually sell in the case of the $3 million agent example of yours is a lifestyle change or a lifestyle upgrade. So instead, try to go in there, those conversations in the whole funnel, right? From the beginning all the way up to the actual selling. You don't want to present a house. You want to present a lifestyle change. So that's the thing what you want to achieve. So when you are able to do that in your content, in the actual funnel, everything will work out fine for you.
Yeah, I also think it's really important that you paint a picture. You have a story with it. That's kind of the idea of story brand, if you will. But like, you need to have what's the outcome, but what's the story with it. So I really like to do, I'm assuming you're familiar with VSLs, but I like to close every time I do a VSL with painting the picture of what it would look like if this worked 100% for you. That's how I like to close it, because it leaves them with this, like, this, their imagination going like, oh, this could be me. What's your, that VSL topic? How do you do VSLs? What's your structure?
Well, I love that you bring that up, right? First of all, VSLs are very, very efficient when done right, and you hit it on the spot, right? Because the storytelling element is one of the utmost important things. So in a VSL, I always try to create something that I call a pattern interrupt, because people are way more knowledgeable about marketing than you might think. A lot of marketers believe, oh, these people are just not so smart. I'm going to do my stuff that's working 10 years ago. I'm going to do that again. So people are exposed to the same structures and the same VSLs over and over again. And they know, okay, hey, I'm being sold. Well, in the case of purchasing a house, you know you're being sold because you want to buy, right? So that's not a big problem. But the problem is that it's so generic. It's always the same structure. So what you want to achieve in every direct response marketing concept is that written in copywriting, is it a sales page, is it a VSL, is it in a webinar, the concept is the same. You need to entertain. You need to tell stories, like you said before, over and over again. You need to paint every concept that you want to bring across, you want to paint with a story. And there's basically in webinars, but also in VSLs, there's one concept that is really, really important. And that is that you want to push the big domino. So what I mean by that, people have a certain belief before they watch your VSL. They believe that it is complex to buy a house. They believe that it might be expensive. They believe that there are probably hidden costs. They believe that the agent might charge way too much than they should. So there are a lot of things in their head. So they get on watching your VSL with that in mind, with that lens on. So your job in the VSL is, one, to entertain. Hey, this is different. Two, to give the information that breaks the beliefs through stories. And a lot of people want then try to break all the different beliefs, right? I need to capture this, I need to talk about the hidden cost, I need to capture about this, I need to talk about this. But in fact, you need to break only one big belief and push that domino, and then slowly all other beliefs are gonna fall in line. And in my opinion, that always works well in conversions, in webinars, and in VSLs. So yeah, that's speaking in webinars and VSLs is a whole topic by itself. I think we can literally make one conversation only about that. But in a nutshell, that's how I look at it.
Real estate agents, are you tired of chasing leads? If you're struggling to find quality sellers or feel like marketing takes up too much time, DMR Media can help. We specialize in getting real estate agents high quality leads, ready to buy leads through SEO and pay per lead approach. That means basically no upfront cost and zero risk. You pay when we deliver results. Imagine a steady flow of clients finding you on Google while you focus on closing deals. We've done it for agents like Cade Covey, who earned an extra $80,000 in just 3 months with our system. Take back your time and get results. Visit dmrmedia.org to learn more about how we can make your marketing work for you. I love the domino analogy. I really like that, because the entire point of a funnel in general is to slowly build up, slowly get more information. Like, you can have a drip campaign, right? And you can give people a little bit at a time, but really a funnel is that like linear, whereas like a drip campaign is like some's here, some there, right? Whereas like, I really, really like that. I just want to put that. Now, on courses as well, what are the most common courses that you come across for your clients? What are the most common sold?
Well, they vary in different topics. The education industry is set to hit like over 600 billion by the year 230. Now, don't quote me on those numbers. I might be a little bit off, but it's huge and it's keep on growing. Why? Because people want to educate themselves. People want to become better. So like we talked about before, people want to make this transformation. It's not that they want to buy courses or want to buy houses. They want to transform their life. They want to upgrade their lives. And an educational piece is very, very, very suitable for that. But especially in the real estate world, people believe that a course would not work, right? That it is for money-making things, or it is how to build this or how to do X, Y, Z. But imagine this for a second. You have a great real estate agency, and you have that funnel in place that I just discussed with you, right? You bring people in, you bring them on a lead magnet, you bring them on a webinar, and you want to bring them in a call. You can even simplify it, and you can even say, hey, I'm going to go to lead magnet, I'm going to go directly to the call. Either way, what you do, that's up to you, as long as you keep it simple. But imagine that you have a dynamic course in between that funnel. And where do you plug that? Let's say that after the call, people are not 100% ready yet, right? They're not there yet. And they go in your email sequence. Not every email sequence is opened, right? That's not what happened. So what if you offer a little course where they can go through it at their own pace? Now, we all know that most courses are not less than 50% literally complete the course, right? Not many people go through it, but they have something for themselves. But to that course, I would add something to it. And I believe every entrepreneur, every real estate agency, or whatever you are, need to have this concept with it. And I'm going to explain you why. That is a physical book. And a physical book is literally your story and everything you discuss in the VSLs and the webinar. It's super easy to create. But a physical book you can send to those people's homes. And what happens then? When you receive a book in your house, right? You put it somewhere. The moment you have calmness in your mind, you're going to pick up that book and you're going to read it. Hey, you're going to listen to Virgil's agency story. And in there, literally what you discussed in the VSL is in written form. And it doesn't need to be like a 300-page Shakespeare saga. No, you make a 99-page physical book. One, it's going to build authority for you. Two, people are going to pick it up whenever they're going to need it. And you are going to make conversions on a level that is untapped. It is happening in a lot of other businesses, but I don't see it a lot in real estate. And I don't understand why, because you guys have so many stories to tell, right? And if you can do that in the right way and break those same beliefs, that big domino in that book, combined with a course where the course bit is written, you're right? Go to the course and check out module this and do this, and this. Whatever the things are that you want to teach, you're going to crush it. Literally crush it. Just my 2 cents.
I really, really like that. On the book idea, kind of building on this, you could almost create a book that's a welcome gift to your home. So when they sell it, but it's actually a book intended for like family members. Because you'll now have that book and you're like, I'll keep this book. But like make it hardcover, make it something nice. And then when a family member thinks, oh, I'm going to buy or sell a house, you have a book to give them. So it's not only finding someone new, It's finding someone new that's a referral from a family member, building rapport with a story. That's beautiful. I love that. I have not heard that
And
before.
that is no, it is not in the real estate world. I don't know why that is. I haven't heard it a lot. I have a lot of friends in real estate, and I've advised some people in the past with real estate businesses as well. But this concept has never been executed, and it's super simple and super effective. And there's another thing that people, oh, that's the thing, right? Why is everything looking the same? Why is everything generic? Because people are always what we call circle jerking. I don't know if I can say this here, but the thing is, they look in their own little bubble of real estate people, and they do the same thing. But if you're going to take funnel hack marketing concepts from other industries, you're going to blow up. And I'm going to give you another one that is so powerful. That's from the restaurant world, right? I have a lot of friends who have restaurants, and I used to live in Ibiza, Spain, and that's really like the cultural hub of going out and eating well, and a lot of restaurants and prime and high-end restaurants. And one of my friends there runs a restaurant, and he uses this concept. It's called the birthday hack. So what does he do? When somebody comes into your funnel for real estate, now let me take you to the example of actually what happens in the restaurant. A person comes in, gets a meal, then the waitress at the end gives him the bill and everything, and they say, hey, please fill in your birthday because we really would like to send you a cool gift. And what we want to do then is celebrate your birthday here at the restaurant and with all your friends, and we would like to gift this for you, and everybody's doing that, right? So how could you translate that? This is literally now me brain dumping that idea into a real estate example. How could you use that? Now, let's say you have a couple of listings. You have beautiful houses, and you capture all the birthdays from your potential leads. How do you do that? On the opt-in form. Hey, what's your date of birth? And we can send you a nice birthday gift. Everybody's going to do that. Now, right before the birthday is going to happen, a few weeks out, you're going to send to your high-profile leads, people who are really willing, you have conversations with, who aren't ready. You're going to say, hey, I know your birthday is coming up. I have an incredible house. What I'm going to do, I'm going to host your birthday party with all your friends in one of my properties that is for sale. Come over there. I arrange the whole lot, and all on me. So what happens? First of all, this person is going to be again in the houses that you offer. So they're going to be there. But they're going to bring their friends and family as well. So you're going to get this ripple effect. People are going to bring in more people who also might buy a home. Now, you might think, this is really far-fetched for a real estate agent. It's going to take a lot of effort, and it's going to take me money to organize. I need to maybe do a caterer, I need to make cake or whatever, how complex you want to make it. But think about it. If you sell a house for $500,000, what is $1,000 to host a birthday party, to sell the house one, and get all the family members as leads because they say, wow, these guys are so cool. Next time when they're going to buy a house, they come to you, Virgil, because you are so hot. Those are little things, right, that you can use. So always open up your mind. When everybody looks inwards in any given industry, you're going to look outwards. Use marketing concepts of various different industries because they cross over. What happens? Pattern interrupt. Oh, sorry. Go.
We got music again.
Yeah, we're music again. She loves it. So where I was, I'm gonna pick it up by this thing.
No, I love the birthday idea. That's just beautiful. I know. That's kind of how I got a job here in real estate. Is specifically in Wisconsin. No one's doing SEO, so the market is a wide open field. And I'm just like, hey guys, everyone's on social media. I have a novel idea. Let's take over Google. And so I just do pay per lead because I can basically guarantee that I'll get you to top 3. So why not? Right? I think that's the idea of zig when people zag, you know? You have to do something different. And that birthday idea, that's beautiful. I'm stealing that and telling one of my agents. He's going to love that.
No, you have to. So there are way more. So, for example, you always a lot of answers are also in the past. I'm going to give you another one. Then you have two big things you can implement, right, from different industries. I don't know if you know the app called Calm. It's like an app that you can download, and then you can calm your mind with all kinds of meditations. It's huge, right?
Okay.
But the guy who founded it, when he started it, he was in this app world, right? He was in this, had a lot of competition. Like there's a lot of real estate agents who compete for certain listings. And he thought, how can I grow my user base in an unconventional way, without without spending a lot of cash upfront for leads, right? So what did he do? He created a website, and the only thing you could do, can you relax for 1 minute? So there was literally it was one page, and there was a timer on it, and then the question was, relax with me for 1 minute. And then the moment you move your mouse or you were done with it, the timer would start again. Sorry, you didn't make it. Start over again. And so he dropped that website on all kinds of forums. And also some writers start picking that website up and started sharing it in articles and stuff like that. The thing blew up. What happened, because he did it in such an unconventional way, he took the attention, he entertained people by them to sit down and stay calm, and then got all those leads. So how can you translate this idea, which has come from the tech world, into real estate? You could build a similar site, and you could say something like, imagine your dream house for 1 minute. And then you have a timer. And then you just show the listings of your houses. And you let people just watch. And on the background, you hear a voice that says, there's a lot of things going on. It's really hard to buy a house. I just want you to sit still for a minute and just imagine you living in one of these places. And do that same concept. So that is what direct response marketing is about. Creativity, storytelling, something to take action on the spot. Those are very, very important things for any direct response marketing campaign that you run, no matter in what industry you are, and it will 100% work in the real estate industry as well.
I agree. Yeah. There's one agent near me, and he's I'll just say on, he's a Keller Williams agent. And his big thing is social media. But he's not doing social media like everyone else. Like everyone else in real estate is like flashy picture of a house, right? No. His thing is essentially image of house, story of house. So it kind of paints, like you can do all the flashy pictures you want, but the way that he does it makes it feel like you're invested in the house. Like you really want to be there, because it's almost like walking up to a castle. And it's calming to that extent, sort of like the way you're describing it, of like, imagine your dream house. That's kind of how he does it. He does like that story kind of thing of like, imagine it. Anyways.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. While we talk about it, so many ideas pop to mind, right? Because that's what I believe. If you are creating courses or you are a real estate agent, doesn't really matter. You always need to be sort of creative with how you present yourself in that busy, noisy world. For example, the last thing that just popped into my mind now to what you just said is, people see a house as as an abstract 4 walls and a roof, right? But in the end of the day, a house is a place where stories been told, memories have been formed. So what if you have, as a viewing, because I know a lot of real estate agents make walkthrough videos, right? So the people who are not overseas, you see it happen. In Bali, you see it a lot, that foreign investors, they stay in Australia, and then the agent shows them through the house to a video, right? That's the practice, the general practice. Now, what if you storify that element also? What instead of only showing the house, like you do in your walkthrough, but there's a little voice over underneath that tells the story that can happen inside that house. So, for example, you have the walkthrough to the door, and then it says, this was the door where my first 2 children got married, were picked up for the marriage for the first time. They go to the children's room. This is the place where twins were born, and they run now successful companies. This is the living room where families get together to strengthen bonds. This is the house that made so many stories, and now you have the opportunity to create yours. So, the same concept of a walkthrough video, but then with a voiceover with beautiful music, because it is about emotion. You don't sell a thing, you sell emotion. And if you can use that, then I can talk for hours about this, as you can know. So, but yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, no. It's 100% about emotions. One of the hardest things is coming to B2B. I almost have to switch it from emotions to logical, because the difference between B2C, so the standard consumer, is a lot of consumers will buy on emotion. But a lot of business owners know this, and so they stop themselves from buying on emotion. And so they buy purely logically, which is the exact flip. So you have to figure out what specifically is their pain point, because you'll still find some business owners that'll buy based on emotion, but it's way less common. So you have to, that's the other tricky part of figuring out which is which. Like who, you have to know your customer first as well. Like, I'll give a good example. So my landing page is basically all facts and statistics. Why? Because a lot of real estate agents, due to the nature of real estate being very analytical, like this house is worth this much, and then especially if they're an investor, they'll go, okay, so I'll get a loan for this much, I'll do this. And so they have this very analytical, like, I want to say predisposition. Like that's just kind of what they're geared towards. And so all of my marketing is very logical. Whereas let's say something like beauty or fashion, right? If we're over here, it's purely emotional. It's looks. How do I look? How do I feel? How do I present myself? That's all emotions. And so it's about finding the customer as well.
100%. Well, I have to agree to disagree a little bit on that front. Yes, B2B people are assumed that they are only analytical, but in the end of the day, you don't sell to things, you sell to people, and all of them are driven by a thought process. And even if that thought process is analytical, from a business perspective, there's also an emotional reason behind it why they want the analytics and the raw data in the first place, right? So I like to challenge you on this in a split test. Don't take my words, because who am I? I'm a guy in Bali talking here about emotion and direct marketing in stories. So don't take my word for it. You know, who am I? I want you to see for yourself. So what I would like you to do is to create a duplicate of that page, an exact everything the same. The only thing is that each segment you're gonna color in with a little bit of story and a little bit of emotion. I already know what happens because I've done that test a gazillion times in all kinds of industries. A very good example of that specific conversion you see in the cryptocurrency world, investing world. You could say that investors are quite analytical, right? You know, I'm going to do Bitcoin, I'm going to do this, and I need this, and then this break line here, and then goes out. Now, you had a lot of newsletters out there who were approaching it as such, and until the day they did. And then there came like two guys, like 2.5 years ago, who said, fuck this. We're going to make this fun. They created Milk Road. Milk Road is a newsletter about cryptocurrencies. But what they did, they storyfied it, made it emotional and entertaining. I really invite you to have a look at it as an example that stirs your emotion, stirs your creativity. That newsletter blew up in 3 years. It got acquired by another company in like, I believe, 18 months or something, like an insane growth. And they show that they can share analytical data, which is raw, like maybe it's not B2B, or that's besides the point, but they showed that raw analytical content that people assumably want converts better in a storytelling emotional elements with it. That doesn't mean that you need to become like a funky, oh, hi, let's bring someone, you know, like that. You can make a fine line, you can make a balance there. But I invite you to do that test. You will be in shock. You'll be in shock.
Yeah, I know. I definitely need to add a little bit more story into my landing page. I 100% agree with that. I know, like, I'm still at that weird point where I'm like, I'm really defining and dialing everything in, where it's like, this is what's working for me now. And so I need to make small tweaks here, small tweaks there, and just really iron it out. Because, like, I'm young enough right now where I have time to actually A/B test things. I'm not just like throwing stuff and praying. I can really work out what I'm doing. And so that's one of the nice things about like hearing this is like I definitely needed to do that, and this is going to give me the motivation to do it. So I'm curious as well. What's your funnel right now? Let's talk that.
My funnel is quite simple because now I work with clients one-on-one. So that I consult a lot. So my funnel is super simple. It is split between paid acquisition and organic, and it all drives around content. So it is content creation. So it can be on LinkedIn, it can be on my website, on my blog, or my newsletter. And I lead with a simple lead magnet. It's the course creation checklist. I know everybody struggles with it because they make it too complex. So people come in there. That's the first stage. When they enter my world, they go to my newsletter. And on my newsletter, they get exposed over time to multiple offerings. That can be micro courses, simple, cheap entry point courses to get started. That can be group trainings or workshops, and it can be one-on-one. It depends that how aware they are. People talk often about the value ladder. You need to take people up the value ladder, and I truly believe in that. That concept has been taught to me also by Russell Brunson and the likes of that. But the thing is that now with doing that a lot, and with clients, I step a little bit away from the ladder idea, the value ladder idea, and I go more towards an ecosystem, a product ecosystem where products are hybrids of each other. So I have multiple different ways. For example, the course could be part or with a little bit of access to me through Telegram. But a course could also be in a short frame time period, like a mini cohort, where it is a mastermind feel. So then all of a sudden I have two different products of the same. Instead of the lead magnet, and the course, and etc. I make my offers way more fluid. And that is literally my funnel. For one-on-one, people go to a call. So paid acquisition or content through social media. Preferred platform is LinkedIn at this stage. Then they're going to go to a lead magnet. In the lead magnet, they get a little mini quiz, so I understand where they are on their journey. And through that quiz, they are pushed towards the relevant offers or a call if needed. And that is it. It's super simple.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're doing paid as well. Where are you doing paid on?
So I became big with Facebook ads, right, for my business, for my course business. And what I do now, which works really successfully for me, are two platforms. One is Reddit. You never talk about it, and not many people talk about it, but Reddit is really cool for advertising. And newsletter sponsorships. Why that? Why those two? Because with those two type of advertisement of paid acquisition methods, I can really be super targeted. With Reddit, it's less targeted, but with newsletter sponsorships, I literally, let's say you are a real estate agent, you can literally go to a big real estate newsletter. You're going to say, hey, for the coming 5 weeks, I want to buy the top slot. What's the price? And the prices are fairly low still. Why? Because a lot of newsletter operators don't know how to monetize. That's another issue in that industry. So you can negotiate really, really great deals, and you get your offer in front of the exact people that you want. In this case, people who want to buy a house. So that is really, really powerful for me, works really, really well for me, and it's really, really a good way to try it for your real estate business as well.
I would have never thought about newsletter sponsorships. That's just not something that comes to mind. I know I've always, since I'm in the SEO space, one thing that I've been thinking about is like blog sponsorships, because there's a lot of real estate specific blogs, but I almost guarantee you there's a lot of real estate newsletters.
Yes.
Oh, that's really, I'm stealing that. That's another idea.
Oh, you should.
I'm just blatantly
No,
ripping
you
from
should
you.
steal it. No, you know why?
That's
Because literally, a lot of people believe that also newsletters can be a topic by itself, right? Like VSLs, we can talk about newsletters, like why it is so powerful. But the thing is, a lot of people have a limited belief that a sponsorship in a newsletter only work with huge numbers. And that's not the case in the newsletter world. If you have a newsletter of 2,500 people, right? What is the case there? That is often a guy or a girl who does it as a side hustle, really is passionate about that newsletter, and really is in touch with that small audience. Everything this person is saying, the audience is probably gonna do. So now, when you reach out, instead of you go to the 200K big ones, you're gonna go to the micro, the small ones, and you're gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you $200 per ad." They're gonna be so happy because for the first time they monetize something. But even when you do write in a very, very entertaining way, in line of what the person is writing about. So if, for example, my newsletter, if you look at it, is storytelling, is entertainment, goes all over the place, like really weird newsletter. A lot of people say when they come in, like, this is not about marketing, this is about, it's about everything else and stories and everything. If you are able to write a piece in that line, in that tone of voice, and then at the end, she is saying, well, by the way, if I ever would purchase a house, I would go here because these guys are so cool. And you just told the story. I'm going to guarantee you're going to get so many hot leads. And those people are going to reach out to you and going to say, yeah, I read your story in Virgil's newsletter. Do you know each other? I say, yeah, we hang out. What do you need? You have such an open conversation with those leads. It's amazing. So it's a really untapped marketing principle that not many people use either.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, because there's a lot of different things that you can sponsor. Like you can sponsor like sports games. You can sponsor basically anything, right?
Yeah.
But newsletters just slips everyone's mind. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. What are some other weird sponsorships that have worked really well?
Well, it's a matter of testing. So what I've been playing around with is like there are on LinkedIn especially. I believe LinkedIn is a great place to be. There are other TikTok is great and all those sort of things, and that's pretty personal. All of them would work even in the real estate business, but especially on LinkedIn, where are often people, the decision makers, the people who are willing to buy are there. This is an assumption of mine. I don't know that for 100%, but that's an assumption because I'm not looked at the data for real estate. But for anything else, you could go to creators on there with a bigger following. There, the bigger number is interesting because they have a huge reach. So if you would find somebody who's really, really has your ideal client in their audience, and it doesn't mean necessarily that this LinkedIn creator needs to be in real estate. This can be in anything, because if you have, for example, somebody who is big on helping CEOs clear their mind or visualize. I have a friend of mine who has a big account on LinkedIn who talks about visualization for CEOs, right? So in here, the thing is that this person has your ideal ICP. So what if this person, you pay them a fee, and this person mentions you in their type of content, not like, here's a house, this is how conversion rate is, this is your mortgage calculator, not like that, but hey, my friend Virgil, we've been talking, and he invited me on a birthday party in one of his listings. I had an amazing time because he had Lala and she just talks about it. And then she says, well, so if you ever need to buy a house, you can go anywhere, but go see my friend Virgil. That is something that the leads that will come from there, again, are one, warm, and you have immediately something to talk about. And in sales, that's the most important part. Because if you are getting them from an analytical point of perspective, let's say the example of yours, right? People, the B2B people have this, and this, and then they come to you. The conversation is very robotic, right? It starts with, oh, how are you doing? Yeah, I saw that percentage. Oh, yeah, it was great, right? What do you think about this interest rate? You get this weird sensation. And again, people are people. But what if the conversation starts like, I hope you had an incredible birthday. Yeah, I was in this villa. I had a listing. I was in this villa where we had this party for all my clients. Yeah, I do that crazy stuff. And yeah, I thought it was cool. So what do you do? Yeah, I have my birthday next week. Really? Do you want me to host your birthday as well? Oh, what are you looking for? Well, actually, I'm looking to. And then the conversation is different. You are immediately on a deeper emotional level. You're more like a buddy. And people like to buy from buddies, right? Yeah, I'm gonna buy from Andrew. Andrew's so cool. He just does this podcast stuff. He does his birthday party thing. I see him in every newsletter. I'm just gonna go to Andrew, and guess who they're gonna refer to when somebody in their environment wants to buy a house, because that's the power of the ripple effect, right? It's not that you advertise to find a buyer. You advertise for three reasons, and I always do this. Every time I advertise or create content, is for three reasons. One, they might become a client at some point. Doesn't need to be now. Two, they will refer me to others because they have a really cool vibe with me. And three, they might become a potential partner. Let's say there's somebody in there, hey, I have a huge community. Could you come and speak for my audience about real estate? Can you come, Andrew? Those are the reasons. So you never need to go in there like a shark. And I know real estate agents, especially here in Bali, are sharks. That when you talk to them, they're go for the sale. I understand, but if you turn that around, you're gonna make so much more sales, because your social selling is really like, no, let's do it. Oh, you want to buy it? Oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah, you got to take a step back and chill. Like, I'm just here, man.
Amen.
I think that's one of the phrases that I've been slowly trying to live. Of I'm just here, man. Like, if you need me, I'm here. I'm happy to help you. And so, like, help as much as you can. Be their friend, and then when they need you, they'll need you.
That's powerful.
I'll tell you what, Virgil. I don't have anything else. Where do you want to send people?
Well, people can find me on my website, virgilbrewster.com. There you can come into my world, and yeah, always happy to chat marketing. Marketing is such a cool thing to talk about, because if you can have so much fun with it, and you should, because people deserve that. There's so much shit in the world nowadays, right? Wars here, economy distresses there. There's so much things going on. When people have something to ease their mind with and eventually purchase from you, I think that's the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. Thank you.